They are piling on the Yuri. Episode 4 of Magical Revolution. Already piling on the Yuri there. And not just that. I mean, that aside, my gosh, what a fantastic episode. Again, just taking their time really diving into Ephelia, not making a snap, it fixed. And I honestly had a feeling it might have sort of been kind of put to the side after the last episode. It felt like Ephelia was getting comfortable enough that we'll probably put that aside for a while. But no. Going right into episode 4, we're still going to stick on this, and normally, I think with a lot of other series, I would probably get really frustrated because it would feel like nothing's progressing, but it's a slow progression, and I think they're doing a really good job. They're being very respectful about how they're handling Ephelia, not throwing her into being fixed, but at the same time, not dragging it out, having a slow progression, and having things come to her realization that really is changing her, and dang, they nailed it. Like, this episode was absolutely fantastic. And yes, as I joked at the very beginning, really kind of getting a little bit of a sense of, yeah, Ephelia is starting to like Anisfia. I mean, she feels like Anisfia is giving her this opening. I joked about it, and I wasn't joking about it. I was very serious early on with this series that I felt Liquidity Quill. Yes, again, this isn't like a bunch of gun-toting girls shooting stuff and everything. It's not the same setting, it's not the same characters, Takina is not Ephelia, but at the same time, it still has that flavor there. Again, the Genki girl that seems like she's free, and the girl who essentially lost her purpose, lost her home, and now she's being given that home. And again, similarly to Liquidity Quill, it's not a case of Annie really going and saying, Ephelia, this is what you're gonna do. Yuffie, this is your new life. Be free. No. She's opening the door and saying, let's find something. Let's find something together. That I'm not saying you have to do this. I'm not saying you have to go back to that. If you're looking for a purpose, let's find it together. And that's enough for me to go, there, right there. This is why I fell in love with Liquidity Quill. It's not that I'm saying this is Liquidity Quill 100%, and if you don't like Liquidity Quill, you can enjoy this one or something like that. No, I'm just saying that's why I fell in love with that one. And that's why I'm falling in love with this one. Like I said, the opening of this episode was like, man, Doki Doki vibes going crazy. I really like that we jumped right into where we left off, because I really hate how some shows have like this very close and personal moment between two characters, and then scene change and it goes away. I like to see the aftermath. What does Anisfia say when she wakes up in Euphilia's lap? How do they respond after just, doing the whole lap pillow thing? But no, it's Ilia showing up and saying how Anisfia is worse than a dog. Like, she would prefer a dog over her, which I like that we got a little clarification this episode why Ilia is like so openly essentially insulting a princess. Like, how could she get away with that? And it's basically because Annie told her to. Annie wanted somebody who would not treat her like royalty. So yes, this little teasing thing is exactly what Anisfia wants, even though she's yelling about being mistreated. But yes, Ephelia is not feeling too well. Now, up in the air here, I mean, yes, granted, it does seem like Ephelia was straight up ill. Like, she got a cold being out there. But I like how Anisfia is taking care of her, and the entire time I'm kind of wondering, is it an aspect of an actual cold, or is she flustered? I think it's probably a combination of both of them. Even Ilia's kind of pointing out the same idea. You've been pulled out of your normalcy, you've been thrown into this position, so it's obviously affecting you. But no, the bedroom scene was, I loved it. Like, everything about it, I loved. Like, again, they're not teasing the Yuri. It really does feel like Ephelia is really getting feelings for Anisfia. But additionally, this is that point, which, again, like Liquidity Quill, is that let's open the door for you. Anisfia to Ephelia is a bird that's free to fly wherever it wants. Unlike her, who will never be able to fly anywhere, will always be falling. She's empty and she envies Anisfia. And again, I love this conversation because Anisfia doesn't straight out say, I'm going to give you purpose. I will give you a reason. Follow me. Let's do what I want to do. It's not the case. It's not her setting a goal for her. Instead, she acknowledges the fact that Ephelia feels like she's empty and she has nothing. And while Ephelia is telling Anisfia, order me. And that was exactly what I was kind of expecting this to go in a direction of, is the idea that she spent her whole life doing what her father wanted, become the queen, marry the prince, be the ideal that others want, fit into this mold that society wants me to be in. So I have a guideline. I've always been living by this guideline, and now that I don't have that guideline, now that I have freedom, she doesn't know what to do with it. She now has freedom. She doesn't think she has freedoms because she doesn't know what it means. She needs somebody to tell her, do this. She needs her father to tell her, what's my next goal? She even said that to her father. What do I do now? Like, tell me what to do next. No, she has the freedom that she was seeking. She just doesn't know what to do with it. So she wants structure again. Sadly, she wants structure again. And she's hoping Anisfia will give that to her. But Anisfia isn't gonna do that to her. Her father even kind of freed her. Anisfia says, if you don't know what to look for, if you don't know what your next purpose is, let's find it together. And even Ilia echoes this. She will give you the time you need. She will buy you time until you figure out what you want to do. It's so beautiful. And then yes, following this, all the Doki Dokis happen. Ephelia seeing how bright she is and her chest starts to hurt. She loves the warmth of Anisfia. She's falling in love with Anisfia. Thank you. Let's not sit here and beat around the bush. Just do it. If that's the case, if that's what she's seeking. Now, I am curious. This writer hasn't shown me weak writing yet. Even with Algard, I know they're doing something with him. I'm wondering if at some point it won't be as simple as Ephelia Doki Dokis for Ani because Ani freed her and is this bright light, but she'll actually catch herself at some point where she goes from, wait, I liked her because I respected and looked up to her freedom. Now I like her because I like her. There's a possibility they can kind of go that route with her. It's easy to mistake admiration with love. But yeah, cut the next episode. Love Ephelia feels free now. She feels lighter. She doesn't know why. Maybe it's because I rested, or maybe it's something else. We get a little brief shot of Anisfia essentially having to train herself. She was trained by guards at some point, but she can't be a knight or anything like that, so she's honed her skills in battle. Which Ephelia's like, wait, battle what? Which she finds out later. But again, really fantastic. I didn't think they were actually going to get this much into Ilia, but yeah, Ilia apparently in this scene equates herself to Ephelia. I was in the same position. I said yes to everything. I have yes syndrome, and yes, she believes that Ephelia has yes syndrome too. She sees Ephelia is the same as her. So she's basically the best gateway to show Ephelia you can accept help from the princess. You can accept Anisfia's help. She will help you and give you time just like she did me. Apparently Ilia was going to be forced to marry some old fart, and apparently Anisfia came around, basically freed her from that. Now she doesn't care what happens to her parents. But it seems like she was implying that Ephelia is going to be an easier case for Anisfia than she was, claiming that she was worse off than Ephelia. Like, she feels like herself, I was in a worse position than even you were at. So if she can save me, she can save you. I'm not sure if that's implying the fact that she was so caught up into her role, much more than what Ephelia was, or that she was just a pain in the butt. Yes, this is when Anisfia runs up with a message that she got from the guild, which shocks Ephelia. Like, why is the guild sending the princess messages? Yeah, I'm a gold rank. Yeah, that's, that happened. But yeah, what they alluded to at the beginning of the episode and this conversation with the king himself and his men, that yes, this dragon is chasing a bunch of monsters. The monsters are coming towards the town, and they can't kill the monsters because the monsters feed the dragon. At the same time, the monsters are going to cause problems, so we're in a pickle. But yes, Anisfia cannot leave it be. This is her golden opportunity to get like a really, really nice magicite from this dragon. So she's going to go off and do that. And obviously Ophelia's like, what the hell? You can't do that. But I think it was kind of hinting at the importance to Anisfia that she needs to do this. Like, Ophelia's like, why would you do this? Why you? You shouldn't do this. This is important to Anisfia. As we established with the first episode, this means everything to Anisfia. This magicology that she's been working on is everything to her. She wants to be able to use magic. And for her research to continue, she needs this from this dragon. I kind of wish they pushed that a little bit heavier. Maybe they'll get into it with the next episode, really instilling upon Ephelia the importance of this. They kind of already established it with Ilia's comments to Ephelia a couple episodes ago, and this idea that this is everything to her because she doesn't know how to use magic. But we, from our perspective, have gotten plenty of that perspective through her conversations with Tilty, conversations with Ilia, all those conversations. But yeah, as we all expected, Ephelia is going with her. So that's when we get into, yes, the prince. The prince has gotten an opportunity to get out of house arrest because this dragon's coming. He's going to defeat it, tells his father that I'm going to defeat it. And if I defeat it, I want Cyan. The daughter of the Cyan Baron. That's who he wants. That's his prize. And the father doesn't want that, of course. But he does get to the point where he was going to allow it. But just before he was able to say it, obviously, they announced that Anisfia ran off with Ephelia to go to the dragon. And he yells, Baka, daughter! But interestingly enough, we do get the confirmations that we've all been kind of expecting. What is wrong with Algard? And that is through the perspective of the father, really kind of hitting heavy on, they used to be the bestesses. Like, Anisfia and Algard were so close to each other when they were young. But at some point, Anisfia discovered magicology, and she grew further from Algard. Now, from the father's perspective, and hopefully we'll get a confirmation of this, he believes that Anisfia was trying to allow Algard to take the throne. Allow him to take it, to help him. But even though she was acting goofy, she was messing up, all the stuff that she was doing in order for people to stop looking at her, it never got rid of the comments that people were making that, yes, Algard heard. He heard them say that if only she could use magic. He heard them say, wish that she was a boy. They wanted Anisfia to take the crown, and they still believe that she could possibly take it. And that's why the father believes that in his son's eyes isn't blind love, it's pure darkness. He's angry. Now, I'm curious where this will go from here, because they've kind of implied at this point that Algard's not angry at Anisfia. Like, the brief moments that we do see them side by side, it's not as if he's attacking her. He even walks by her without saying a word. They've grown apart, but I don't think he despises her. I think he just despises the system itself, and he's trying to break that system. But yeah, that's, that's hilarious, because obviously Algard isn't going to get what he wanted. Now, I think this is going to make him hate his sister, because this was his golden opportunity. This is my chance to prove myself. I will slay the dragon, and I will save the kingdom, and I will get exactly what I want. Now, how he was going to do that, that's the big question mark. Is he really skilled with magic? That could be a possibility. They've only really kind of implied the royal family is special because they were the first ones to make pact with the spirits, but it doesn't imply that the royal family has like an amazing amount of magic. He could be powerful in some way, but still, his choice was to take down the dragon. Maybe they were going to actually, there's a possibility the guy that came in to speak to Algard, the guy that was part of this Ministry of Arcane, maybe they had the plan to go with him and help him take down the dragon and then give him credit, and that would put him into power. But yeah, she's destroyed those plans. And I'm thinking that's probably going to make him now really not like Anisfia. Like, this is it. I'm tired of this girl messing up everything I'm doing. I still don't like Algard. I still don't like him. But we'll see. We'll see if they can eventually make me like Algard. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I still don't like what he did to Ephelia. Especially now that we're going, like, multiple episodes of Ephelia just being absolutely destroyed. This girl is lost, and she doesn't know what to connect to anymore. Anyways, fantastic episode. My gosh, the went on for way too long. I just love this episode. Just so much character growth. Ephelia and her slow pulling herself out of the darkness. And yes, getting to see some insights into Ilia, which is fantastic. The past of Anisfia and Algard. There's so much good stuff in this episode, and I love it to death. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode, or this Impressions episode. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure that If you're new to this channel, hit the subscription button so you get all my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you like this video, then hit the like button. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Additionally, if I didn't scare you away with my flubbing and you want to support the channel more, we have a Patreon link, tips link, super thanks, and membership button down below. I greatly appreciate it, but it supports the channel, and y'all take care.